So it's clear God is not an author of confusion. 1 Corinthians 14:33. This particular word is inspired from my other channel, the Maggie Muigai Show, on the ongoing series, The Joys and the Woes of Singlehood, where I've had folks say, Maggie, God showed me who my husband is, who my wife is, and I've told them, that they are my wife, they are my husband, and they're not conforming. I'm like, wait, first of all, that's the wrong approach, okay? I'm not here to condemn you, but sis, bruh, that is the wrong approach. Listen, when it comes to communicating, hearing from God, when it involves somebody else, you got to do something with somebody else. Allow that individual to hear God too, the same way you heard God. If God could speak to you, God is going to speak to the other individual. In Acts chapter 9, we see Saul of Tarsus on his way to Damascus, right? God encounters him, Jesus encounters him, and he becomes blind. And we're told in verse 10, Ananias is told by Jesus, go to a street called Straight and ask for Saul of Tarsus, lay hands on him that he might receive his sight. This is Jesus speaking to Ananias. He turns around and tells Ananias that Saul himself has seen in a vision someone coming over by the name of Ananias to laying hands on him that he might receive his sight. Did you see what God did there? He spoke to both parties. He didn't just speak to Ananias and say to Ananias, you just show up, it'll be fine. No, he spoke to both parties. So by the time Ananias got in and said to Saul, brother Saul, receive your sight, Saul did not resist. He was like, yep, I already know. God showed you to me. I saw you in my vision. Another confirmation where God clears confusion is Acts chapter 10. Cornelius, he's praying. An angel comes to him and says, listen, Cornelius, send men over to Joppa and ask for Peter, okay? Simon Peter, and he should come over and tell you the way of salvation. God turns around and ministers to Peter. And in a vision, he sees, kill and eat, unclean animals, yada, yada, yada. But we're told in verse 19 through 20 of Acts chapter 10 that God says to Peter, hey, Peter, there are 3 men who are here seeking you. Go with them. Fear nothing. Don't doubt nothing. Just go with them. I have sent you. I have sent them to you. Go with them to Cornelius. Are you seeing what God is doing here? God is speaking to both parties. Allow folk to hear God the same way you heard God. Okay? If God is saying to you indeed that this individual is yours, is your husband, is your wife, allow them to come into that conviction, into that hearing, okay? Because guess what? It will be that conviction that they know in their knower that, hey, this is my kingdom spouse. Because listen, when things start to happen in marriage, because marriage is not going to be 247, sweet and all that. And I'm not trying to prophesy, whatever, that it's going to be sour. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, just the vicissitudes of life. Life happens, right? You're going to have your own conviction that you stand on firmly and say, you know what? I'm going to fight for this marriage because I know who spoke to me. I am well convinced this is my spouse. This is my God-given spouse. And I'm going to fight for this marriage because let me tell you, if they do not have that conviction for themselves and things get tough in a marriage, they will walk. They will walk. Okay, so please allow folk to come into their own conviction about you as their kingdom spouse, or, even if it's a business deal or whatever, you can apply this word anywhere else. But listen, ensure that people are hearing God just like you heard God. Pray for them to hear God. Pray for God to show them, is it in a prophetic dream or maybe in a knower in their heart or something like that. But God always shows both parties. So stop trying to force people into your own conviction. Allow them to come into it. Okay? So take care, people. I love y'all. I'll see you on my next video. And make sure to like, follow, and what is it they say? Subscribe. all that. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, all that. And I'll see you next time. All right. Take care. God bless you. Much love.